anybody from Burkina Faso, your farm, you'll get the benefit of what you've been investing. They are expert in this cocoa business. So
To what extent?
to what extent? What do you mean?
I'm talking about Burkina Bees when you say they are knowledgeable about.
They have the technical
cocoa.
knowledge. They have the technical know-how. As compared to us in Liberia, we've been in the cocoa business for long, but the knowledge they have surpass what we have.
Is it what triggered the agreement or the partnership?
What triggered the partnership is that they've been crossing over to bordering towns in Grenjide, Reboji,
Okay.
right? So they've been searching for lands to plant cocoa, right? So the farmers in that area have been giving land to them to plant, but what we wanted to do was to ensure that the right thing is done. If you come across and you want to plant, we think it is necessary that, for example, you follow all the legal agreements. So what Adi Kalkao did, they reached out to us and they said we want to form a partnership so that we can guide the process. We have Ivorian, we have Burkinabes, or we call them ECOWAS migrant,
Okay.
who are crossing over to plant cocoa. We don't want in the future for the West to happen. We want an agreement that will say, for example, before you plant, right? Before you plant, or before if you are
You're considering land ownership.
Thank you. Land ownership is something that is very important.
Okay.
We should ensure that there's a document signed between land owners. Somebody will not just come and say, I want to plant, and you give them land to plant. There should be an agreement between the both parties. So Adi Kaukau wants to ensure that is done. So they came to us and they say, okay, we want to form this partnership. You will be the one to ensure that there's awareness on this issue, that people will know that, hey, we have Ivorian, not Ivorian, but Burkinabes or ECOWAS migrants to plan, right? But before...
That's on a free trade.
Exactly,
Okay.
right? So we want to ensure that nobody come and say, for example, the land belongs to me. And then when maybe you allow the man to plant, the next day somebody come and say the land is not
When it's
not
time
yours.
to harvest.
So time to harvest, the land is not yours. So that agreement has been signed, and very shortly we'll dispatch enumerators to be on the ground to know how many migrants we have. We want to have a statistics of how many migrants we have, and to register them, and then to ensure that where they are doing their farming are identified. We will ensure that the counties or superintendents and all the stakeholders in the counties are aware that these are migrants. They are not a threat to us. These are migrants. They want to help our brothers and sisters here to plant cocoa. But this is what they have done. We have this portion of land that they and the farmers have agreed for them to plant their cocoa, and we have documents to that effect.
And it's going to be a win-win situation. So those in Liberia will benefit, and the migrants will also benefit.
Because here is the economic value to it. Right now in the southeast, people are doing farming, but they are doing it on a small scale.
So the focus is going to be southeastern Liberia.
Southeastern for now, southeastern Liberia. So here is the focus, Jaeger. Right now, people are doing farming, cocoa farming in the southeast, but they are doing it on a smaller scale. But with the involvement of the migrants who are experts in this field, they will ensure that the farms are bigger. When you harvest, well, let's say for example, you used to make around $1,000 on a yearly basis from your harvest. With the involvement of these experts, we think you can make more than $1,000, because they will tell you the right thing to do, right? They will provide you technical knowledge, give you the technical advice on what to do, right? So we are saying, for example, that listen, these are ECOWAS migrants. They are interested in making farm. They are cocoa expert. We want you to give, or they want your land to plant their cocoa, but we don't want you to just take your land and go to them and say, okay, go ahead and plant, right?
When there is no understanding.
When there is no understanding, because we're trying to do this to avoid future conflict.
Conflict, okay.
Right. So if the man just come and say, I want to play in cocoa, you know, I have knowledge in this thing, I can do it better. If I play on your land, you will make more money than you used to make. Just go ahead and give a land to the man, start planting. Maybe in the future, something could happen, and you will say, for example, man, they learn for you, or whatever you did there.
So LACRA's role is to ensure that there is a formal agreement between both parties.
Between both parties.
Okay.
So Adi Kaukau now will ensure that if John Paul has a land and he wants to give it to an ECOWAS or a migrant farmer, Adi Kaukau will ensure that that land is legitimate. They will ensure that John Paul said the land belongs to him. But do we have documents to show that this land is for John Paul before giving it to the?
If it is verified, how do they come in?
How do
I'm talking about Adi Kaukau. So if
they will
the documents are verified and
yes.
people will have legality
yes.
to farming, of course. What do they do in such process?
So they will do a survey of the portion that has been agreed on.
Okay.
The portion that has been contracted, they will do a survey. They will bring a technical whatsoever to do a survey, right?
So what do we expect from them? Is it that they're providing seeds for planting or what?
For now, they want to provide a technical support
okay.
in the context of conducting census
okay.
to know first how many Burkina bees we have in the south. I hate to call them Burkina bee.
ECOWAS migrants.
ECOWAS migrants. How many ECOWAS migrants we have in the southeast? How many land they have already acquired from these local farmers, and the areas where they are stationed or where they have been given to work. So Adi Kaka will do a document, will do an identification of all these migrants, the area they've been given, and order, and they will do a formal agreement that, hey, this is an ECOWAS migrant, and he has been given this portion of land by farmer X to plant. So all those documents will be done and will be signed, and LACRA will be the custodian of that document.
Okay.
So maybe in the future there might be agreement on how, for example, if because in 3 years' time your cocoa is harvesting now,
okay.
right? So in the future there might be an agreement. Because this is a 3-year project.
Okay, I was about to ask about the duration of the agreement and maybe what's the value of this agreement?
In terms of
monetary value.
There's no monetary value attached.
Okay.
There's a technical support agreement, right, to ensure the right things are done.
What does it mean for LACRA going out and kind of establishing such partnership?
Well, I think that is part of our responsibility to ensure that farmer well-beings are met.